You know, I tend to disagree with the Bayverse fans. They think, oh, Bayverse Optimus is peak. Bayverse is so peak, and I'm like, it's really not. But there is one thing I agree with them on, and that is Barricade looks really cool. And I don't know. I know what you're thinking. He looks like he exploded, and then yes, I know, I get it, but it's just really cool. He's one of the few Transformers designs from those early live action movies that actually looks like a Transformer, and he does unique stuff. I mean, up to that point, you didn't really have Transformers that had the extremely long arms, and he was the first Transformer that was a Decepticon that turned into a police car, at least as far as I know. I mean, he's really cool, and also he's the first Transformer we see act. Well, no, Blackout. He's the second Transformer we actually see transform on screen, and he's the first one to do it in daylight. So he has a lot going for him in terms of cool factor, which is why it sucks that he really hasn't been used outside of the movies much. I mean, he was used in the War for Cybertron game, where he's fine, I guess. And then he's used in the Netflix trilogy, which I think is best left in the past. I think it's best we try to wipe that from our memories. So, like, when Studio Series got announced, I was like, okay, cool. We're going to get a Barricade. All right, we're going to get a screen accurate Barricade. He's going to look really cool. He's going to do something different. Let's see what happens. He was definitely different. Begin in vehicle mode, where you might think initially that, hey, that doesn't look that bad. That looks like Barricade from the '07 movie. Which, at first glance, you are correct. However, when I move it closer to the camera, you begin to see all of the issues. It's not to say that the entire figure is bad. I mean, he does have some very nice tampographics going all across him. All of these are accurate. He does even have the to punish and enslave tampographed onto the side of his vehicle on both sides. Even the tail lights are painted. The issue is that in order to get here, you have to go through absolute hell. Here's the thing, okay? At a first glance, it looked fine, right? It looked totally fine. And then when you got closer, you saw the gaps and stuff. That's because, from what I've read, this toy took inspiration from the movie Masterpiece toy, which in some cases works, and in this case did not. Okay, the engineering on this is so overcomplicated. There was no need for this to be as overly complicated as it is. I mean, things just don't work. Like, they don't tab in. They don't tab in well, and there's just so many things that this fails at, and it leads to a robot mode that barely holds together and a vehicle mode that barely goes together. So for transformation, we're kind of just going to explode him. We'll just pull that back, and then see, we'll pull here, and then he just kind of falls apart, and yeah, it just... Yeah, and then okay, we'll do the arms first. Okay, so we'll just take the hands, fold them out, clip them in, and we will rotate on the accordion hinge, fold the windows down. All right, okay, we're doing okay. Nothing's falling apart yet. Do the same thing on the other side. And all right, it's not too bad. All right, now let's get the legs. Okay, so legs, you just unfold them, push them back until you get the classic Michael Bay chicken leg. Take the plastic bit here and just slip it into the notch on the calf. There's one. On the other side, two. All right, and then we get to the torso. So, things haven't been looking too bad so far. I mean, the car windows do give us a bit of trouble because, they aren't tapped in or they aren't pinned in. So let's go ahead and do this. So we'll just pull up on this, rotate it around. Oh, sorry. Hang on. I might actually. No, I have that right. Yep. Rotate it around to cover the windshield. Then the scary part comes up. So you want to take this, which is on a clear ball joint socket, and rotate it around as gently, oh gosh, and as slowly as possible. And then you just fold everything up. The pelvis has a little tab right there. We'll go into that slot right there. Oh, jeez. Please don't break on me. Oh, come on. Please. Just. Okay. Whew. All right. We got. Nothing fell off. Okay. You just push the head up. The backpack you can pretty much arrange however you want. It's just. Okay. I can't touch this thing anymore. Okay. It's just. Oh god. Oh god. Okay. Please. Okay. That's it. That's the pose we're gonna have him in for now. Now, the thing is, you heard how terrified I was towards the end of that transformation, right? That's because Hasbro, and all their wisdom, and the design team, who is usually fantastic, but this time they definitely whiffed it on this one. They decided that the ball joint socket for the hood to rotate around would be made of clear plastic. Now, I don't know if you know this, but clear plastic on its own, even when it's not on a hinge or anything like that, is already pretty brittle. You put that under any force whatsoever over a period of time, it's going to snap. I've been pretty lucky, but the thing is, right before I started filming this video, I went to put him in vehicle mode, and it cracked. And it wasn't like a small crack. It was a loud crack. In fact, you probably heard it crack again in the transformation sequence. And the fact that they thought this was a good idea scares me. Now, again, in robot mode, at first glance, you might think, hey, that doesn't look that bad. That actually looks pretty good. But the issue is not the looks, it's the feel and the engineering choices. You know how scared I sounded in the transformation clip? That's because this snapped as I was transforming him on camera. That cracked while I was transforming this guy. And that's not the only quality control issue this guy has. The arms are incredibly loose at any rate. Like, this is just me, like, just folding and, like, flicking the arm, okay? This one's a little bit better on this side. These clear plastic, the windows for the sides of the door, yeah, those pop off pretty easily, especially if you're going into vehicle mode. These hinges, these accordion hinges, are loose, and because the arms don't tab in, I will regularly go to put him in a pose, and then I'll have it like that. The legs, because they don't have an actual like solid connection point, he's constantly trying to fall over, and I mean constantly. And like look at that. That's ridiculously loose, and I got this guy mint in box, sealed. What happened? I'll tell you what happened. More than likely, and this is just a personal theory of mine, the engineering team was being so overworked by Hasbro that they all decided they were going to do the strongest drugs possible. I mean, the biggest hallucinogens possible while making this figure, just so they could stay awake while they were trying to that's the only excuse I can think of for how this engineering team, who is usually really good, made this many mistakes. Now, he does come with his classic weapon here, which does actually spin, which is nice. And it's just a 5mm port. You just clip his hands. So in transformation, they have you unclip his thumb. For him to hold the weapon, you want to clip it back in. And then you just set it into his hand like so. And watch as he struggles to hold himself up because of how loose the connection for his shins is. Thus, that's the best he's ever looked holding this thing. Another thing, this isn't really an objective opinion, like, thing that's bad. This is just my personal opinion. This looks so bad. Just like this right here. I mean, let Jazz. Okay, let's look at Jazz here. All right, Jazz, same price point. Look what they do. They integrate the weapon in a way that actually looks like his hand transformed to become the weapon, which we know is what Barricade's weapon is. Yet with Barricade, there was almost no attempt to actually cover up the fact that it's just his hand holding it like a gun. Like, this is nothing new. I mean, you could have done what you did with this guy. Have him pop the arm off and then put that on there. But no, for some reason we had to have him hold it 3 feet out in front of his body to where he could barely stand with it. While we're here, I guess we might as well get to some size comparisons. God, stand. Ratchet, Ironhide, Shockwave. So yeah, this toy sucks. It's not good at all. Don't pay the aftermarket price for it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna gently move this to a spot where it will not fall and it will not break.